Today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite math topics, complex fractions. The reason I love complex fractions is because they look really hard, but they aren't very hard. So you can leave your notes laying around your house and scare your little brothers and sisters, and they'll think you're doing such hard math, but really it just looks hard. So first of all, a complex fraction is a fraction that has one or more fractions in the numerator, denominator, or both. So it's basically a fraction made of fractions. So remember that a fraction actually is just a division problem. So if we have something like this, 1/3 over 2/5, what it really means is 1/3 divided by 2/5. And we know when we divide fractions, we multiply the first one times the reciprocal of the second one. So this would just be 5/6. So it's a fraction made of fractions, but we're remembering that it's just a division problem. So let's look at this example number 1. We have 2/3 over 3/4. So we remember that that's 2/3 divided by 3/4, which is 2/3 times the reciprocal. And then anytime you can do cross-canceling, you should, but in this case, I cannot do any cross-canceling. I'm just going to get 8/9. All right, what do we do when it has a mixed number? We're going to change that to improper and go from there. So this is like 3/2 divided by 5/6, which is 3/2 times 6/5. That is going to be something we can either simplify or cross-cancel. I like to cross-cancel, as you know by now, and I also like to leave my answer as an improper fraction, but if you want to leave it as a mixed number, that's totally fine. And the last example, we're going to change this to an improper fraction. So I have 12 divided by 8/6. Which is 12 over 1 times 6/8. There's some cross-canceling there I can do. I can divide by 4s and get 18. Whoops. Did you guys see what I did wrong? I'm erasing it and going back and fixing it because I don't want to start over. All right, so I changed that into an improper fraction incorrectly. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 2 is 8, but then for some reason I put it over a 6 instead of a 3. So I have 12 divided by 8/3, which is 12 over 1 times 3/8. And now I can go back and do my cross-canceling. 4 goes in 3 times and 2 times to give me 9/2. I'm going to leave my answer like this. If you want to make it 4.5, that's definitely not wrong. So I can use these complex fractions when I'm doing rates that involve fractions. So let's look at a couple examples here. It says we used 4 3/8 gallons of gas for a 1 1/4 hour trip. How many gallons of gas were used per hour? It's very important to look at what they're asking. They're asking how many gallons per hour. So I want to represent gallons over hours because that's basically what they said in the problem. What are the gallons per hour? So that means I'm going to put the gallons in the numerator and the hours in the denominator. I'm going to change these first two improper fractions. So 4 times 8 is 32 plus 3 is 35. This one will be 5/4. So I have 35/8 divided by 5/4, which is 35/8 times 4/5. I can cross-cancel with 5s here and 4s here to get 7/2. So even though I said I like improper fractions, if we want to know how many gallons of gas per hour, when you fill up your car with gas, you probably don't say that you want 7/2 gallons of gas. You would want to say 3.5 gallons per hour. So this is our gas mileage for the trip, 3.5 gallons that we use every hour. All right, this last example, Kim is making dog blankets for the local shelter. She bought 2 1/3 yards of fabric for $14, what was the cost per fabric yard? So we're going to do cost over yard. What I've been telling you all along that we always want to do money over how much we're getting. So $14 over 2 1/3 yards. Let's change the 2 1/3 to 7/3. And we'll do 14 divided by 7/3, which is 14 times 3/7. We'll do 14 over 1 there. And we'll cross cancel to get 6. So that's $6 per yard of fabric for Kim. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.